Oh,
check out the Marcus and Manny show.
I hate you both right now. You guys are ridiculous.
I'm Shotzi Blackheart, the ballsy badass, and you are watching the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. Remember to like the video and subscribe.
oh. Welcome everyone to another edition of the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. I am, of course, Lord Manny Hayes, and I'm joined by
Marcus the Grand Finale, who is being extremely extra right now.
And we are joined by our special guest, Maurice, from the mid-card mess, as how I know him. But Maurice, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. First and foremost, gentlemen, thank you so much for having me on your show, on your platform. I'm a big fan of your show. I love what you all been doing every week, providing us the content surrounding, our love, our shared love of professional wrestling and everything. Sometimes, most of the time, y'all are wrong, but, it's okay. I still love you. I'm just messing. I'm trying to get that cheap heat already. All BS aside, man, really happy to be on the show. Really excited about this conversation. What's up, everyone? Yeah, my name is Maurice Prophet. Good friends with these two gentlemen. We're all from the Mid-Card Mess. It's a Facebook wrestling group where we, chop it up about wrestling on a daily basis, argue, but it's all out of love because, we all family in there and everything. Share, funny memes and all that stuff. Watch Raw together, watch pay-per-views together, all that good stuff and everything like that. Coming to you guys from Chicago, Illinois, in the United States. I am also, in addition, the founder and creative director of B-Side Studios. B-Side Studios is an independent entertainment platform for entertainers, artists. Mostly actors, when it comes to theater, when it comes to television, movies as well too. We do it all here with B-Side. In terms of creating content for people who don't have representation, making sure people who don't have representation and don't have enough experience are able to have a platform to build their artistry and also get paid at the same time. So check us out. We're on Facebook, we're on IG as well. Look for B-Side, look for the black tape, the tape behind me, and you're home, baby. But yeah, man, I'm excited about being here, guys. Let me tell you, just a real quick backstory. I've been knowing Marcus, for man, bro, I think it's over a decade now, bro. From following the Sharpshooters, avid listener of their podcast. Became became really good friends with Marcus and Eric. Shout out to Eric Smith as well too, and everything, and just seeing how you've been developing and all that stuff and everything has been really great seeing your journey. I just linked up with Manny probably within the last couple years or so through the Mid-Card Mess, and Manny always providing some really some really topic worthy conversations. What I'm saying? He's pointing out things that you may not be able to see. With your eye, he brings up some issues. He also stirs the pot a little bit as well too to get get the conversation going and stuff. You know what I mean? He pisses some people off sometimes, but I love it though, man, because that's somebody's gotta do it. I feel you, bro. Somebody's gotta do it.
I've got beef on that group with.
You got beef with somebody there?
Oh yeah,
Man
like collective beef.
Man like Chad. If I see him beat down on site.
Oh shit.
Nah, that's so good.
Shoot me a message if you need me to handle that business for you, man. Let me know.
Yeah, that's the main reason we had you on here, Maurice, is to get all the admins of the Mid-Card Mess on here, just so we can get Chad banned out the room for bringing up the AEW is better comment every single week. Every single week.
I've got another agenda with Maurice. I always seem to miss his Royal Rumble event. I want a buy-in. Buy-in. Because whenever he posts it, I'm either asleep or something.
Yeah.
I'm doing something. So I need a buy-in in that competition.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is that you're not the only one from the UK who's told me that before too. Who said, I want to get in the Rumble, but whenever you post the contest rules and the sign up, I'm asleep or whatever. So I'll make sure, in exchange for this, I'll make sure that this year I'm gonna make sure I purposely have you involved in that for real.
Oh, there he is.
You already got your spot. You already got your spot. 59 other spots left, but Manny got spot number 1. And Marcus, you get spot number 2. I got you, brother. So 58.
All right. I'm really happy to be in either one of the Rumbles. And I remember I thought I was going to win one year, and Eric won, and I wasn't even in there.
yeah, you got real. Y'all two got. I can't remember who it was, but y'all two got real close that year, though. Yeah,
Eric won.
Yeah.
Eric
won. He was the winner. Was it Orton?
Yeah, it was Orton.
Okay, yeah. So it was one that I think they were in San Antonio. I think for that one, I believe, or something like that. But but I remember you were close too as well, bro. But I got y'all.
We win. All right, ready. Let's start the show. Let's see what we got. What are we talking about today?
Since the man that told me he's gonna AEW it up, we're starting with AEW.
All right.
Let's talk about that Dynamite.
Yeah, AEW opened up with Will Hobbs versus Brian Cage for the FTW Championship. As Biggie would put it, it's just two big men bumping me, and this is what it was. I enjoyed this match. Solid match. Will Hobbs, I don't know who he. If you're comparing Will Hobbs to someone as AEW's booking WCW, he could be their Booker T.
You're just saying that because he's black, Manny.
No, yeah, and they don't know, and AEW don't know how to book black wrestlers. Let's be real.
They really aren't booking black wrestlers to work. Big Swole had a big win this week, but that's the first black person I've seen win on Dynamite in like a decade, and they ain't been around a year.
because Sonny, it looks like Sonny Kiss gets the he gets like he gets the beat down every week. It feel like. For real, whenever someone debuts, someone makes a comeback, Sonny Kiss is always the one that they feed to them.
Yeah. But in general, I thought this was a really good match, and probably the best I've seen Brian Cage actually on Dynamite when he did like all his stuff, and he was a big dude fighting another big dude, and he had a really solid match. There weren't shenanigans of outside interference with Taz or Ricky Starks or whatever the case. So I actually really enjoyed this match. But my one issue, and I wish they established Mr. Will Hobbs more. Like, it would give some squash matches on Dynamite before he loses to Brian Cage. But overall, that's just a little nitpick because I feel like in general they need more squash matches for people on the show.
I've got this question for Maurice, because you're the bigger AEW fan. When you see guys like Will Hobbs and the various other talent they bring in to job essentially, and the records matter obviously in AEW, does it hurt someone like Will Hobbs that has been jobbing for let's say a month, and he comes in with a record he's currently 3-4, but if he hadn't had any wins going into Dynamite, Red Velvet last week was 0-7, now 0-8. But does it hurt them if they were to be signed to be brought onto the main card for the Dynamite show?
You see, I guess that's the thing is that because it's funny you asked it because I was kind of thinking about that too as well, in terms of booking, in terms of wins and losses and such. Because when it comes to what's not kayfabe, when we talk about the reality is that they are getting the paycheck, they are getting on television, so they are getting some really solid positives, with their with their appearance. It's only going to help them in the long run. However, you're right, it does help them, when it comes to momentum and when it comes to the viewers actually watching as well too, being able to see and believe in these guys, seeing the credibility that they possess. So, like you guys said a minute ago, had there been a little bit more better build up for Hobbs, doing a few squash matches, being able to see and understand and be acquainted with his moveset much more, much more closer, then we can go into that match last night with with some high anticipation, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it does. I see why it's okay because, like I said, to them it's a gig, it's exposure and all. But for us as fans, in order to buy into them as characters and buy into whom they are as athletes, we do need to see a little bit more development from them.
Yeah. So here's my thing, and this is another critique of the match. Even though, again, I enjoyed the match, but I thought this was a flaw that they probably shouldn't have done. So Taz and Ricky Starks are on commentary, and then they have this backstory of Will Hobbs' family of like his brother shielding him before he getting shot. It's really hard for the heel to respond to something like that, going like, "Oh, well." And Taz's like, "Wow, that's a horrible story." Like, oh, like, I didn't know the man we're trying to beat down is, doing like that. So
yeah. He's like, well, what can I say to that?
Why don't bring this shit up right now? This is not a good time while I'm here. Because I can't talk shit anymore that his brother's dead and got shot. It's like, oh, that's horrible. Damn.
Right.
But that was it. And I was like, this is awkward now. This is a whole awkward conversation. Taz is going to have to he could be a bad guy, but you can't be a bad person like that and be like, yeah, so?
Yeah.
What do I say now?
Yeah, you kind of have to wonder like why that was what was brought up, because that type of story is more reserved for like when they do like kind of like a magazine segment on these guys, like when they do like a little like 101, here's like the backstory of them, like when they do like they show them like walking, down the street and it's in black and white and they talk about their life, whatever. You reserve that story for that, for that portrait of them. But if you want to do like a little backstory, make it so this way there is room for Taz to be able to like put in some jabs and say like who cares about that, it's all about what's going on right now. That's Brian Cage, you know what I'm saying? So they could have they could have like tweaked that a little bit better though. But I get what they were going for, but that was like the wrong choice. So
yeah, it was just awkward. I was like, oh, what? Like Taz sitting there, I'm like, he can't say shit now. He can't say anything. Because of this story, and I'm like, maybe you could have saved that. You could have saved that for something else. Maybe fighting Moxley or something, and he's an underdog in the title, and there's no heels around.
Yeah. And for him to make it,
Speaking of Taz, he did give Will Hobbs the option of joining Team Taz or to not, and then accept a beatdown for Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Darby Allin comes out to prevent the potential beatdown before Hobbs is even able to give an answer.
Yeah.
Do you think it's right to align him with Taz?
It might be too soon, but I did like the possibility variable that was put out there. Making you kind of scratch your head and wonder, what's his response going to be? But then we didn't get a response because of Darby. But I do like that little sprinkle of questioning when it comes to like what direction he's going to go into, because all it does is help develop his character even more. Because either the way he goes, let's say he chooses to side with them, man, crazy as now it's a heel turn and he's on their stable and all that stuff and everything. It's gonna be crazy. But if he declines and he actually he gives like a pretty solidified reason as to why he's declining, and it could like raise his stock a little bit more, in terms of being like not saying like he's gonna shoot to the main event overnight, but it will give him a little more credence to why he could be like in the conversation of being that one of the top faces down the road. So like so seeing something like that really does, I feel like it's a win-win for him. So I'm glad that was actually thrown out for him.
Yeah, I mean it seems like a good opportunity. I don't know how he is on the mic. I'm sure because he's relatively new and green, he's not really mic savvy, or I don't know the term. He's not probably the best on the mic, but this would give him an opportunity if he isn't to work with like Taz, and he could talk forward. And he could beat the shit out of Darby Allin, because I was a full jumping of Darby Allin when he walks out. No one should be afraid of Darby Allin. He is 90 pounds of nothing. Just punch him. Just grab him.
But bro, let me tell you, like, he is super over, man. It's nuts how over this kid is, man. When we were at the February pay-per-view that the AEW had before the pandemic.
All Out? Or Double? No, it's Revolution.
Full Gear or Revolution?
It's one of them.
Revolution. I think it was Revolution.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was whatever they had back in February, and it was here in Chicago. And my niece and I went. Shout out to Carissa. We went to the show. Yo, he had like one of the biggest pops of the night, man. Like, it's nuts how over this guy is. So I'm with you, like Marcus, like in terms of like, you look at him and you're like, okay, like like you a threat, okay, but people get behind this dude crazy, man. So like yeah, they're gonna pour some energy behind him. But it was kind of funny seeing him come out there to to save the day. For these big, this big ass dude and everything like that.
All these big ass dudes in there.
The more annoying thing about that was that they both retreated when they clearly could have taken him.
Yeah, it was like, I don't want none of that. I don't want all of that. Like it wasn't like Brock Lesnar walking out there to go beat their ass. It was like, oh, okay. I wish he had more, like, I don't know, just a weapon or something. Because it was like, nah, we don't want that. Damn.
Yeah.
He'll fuck me up. He'll fuck us all up.
So moving on to the next match, it was the Hybrid 2 versus FTR, where we get a shot of the Young Bucks. I feel like they were taking a shot at WWE and how people were to scream back, with their backs fully turned to the screen. However, I'd like to point out, my TV is just to the left. So when I'm at work at this desk, I will watch TV like this.
Yeah.
But you don't watch TV with your back turned to it.
I will still do it. I thought this was a really good match. It was expected from FTR. But I feel like I need to see Angelico more on TV. Like, he's just got this amazing slick moveset. And it's followed by the...
Yeah. I don't know what it is, man, but I really love FTR and AEW. I love it so much, man. Like, when they made their debut earlier this year in AEW, to me it was like, oh, this fits. This feels right. These are two guys. They can wrestle their asses off. They're in the promotion that we're generally the audience that watches AEW. They appreciate more of the wrestling side of things. So they'll cater to that audience and such. And it feels like that since they came to AEW, like their matches are just much more better. They're magnetized in terms of really being able to showcase like what these guys are capable of in terms of their skill set. They didn't really get that appreciation that much in WWE when they're over there. But they're getting it here, and last night was just an example of that. I felt that match last night with them was in my personal opinion, it was a match of the night. We saw some really dope double teaming that we typically don't really see in tag team wrestling. They have a very old school, and that's another thing too. It was a contrast of styles with FTR with their old school ways, and Evans and Homeboy, I can't remember his name real quick. Having like more like the high flyer moves and such, but they really still matched really well. So I liked it. I really liked what I saw last night with them.
Yeah, I don't understand why Angelico isn't featured more on AEW. I love that guy. I loved him in Lucha Underground. And as you both sip at the same time, I got nothing to sip on. But like I drink to that. But the dude he oozes charisma, and he's so smooth and slick. And it just seems like he should be featured more. And I really like the tag team with the Hybrid too. They're not featured as much. I think they're mostly featured on Dark, but they're a really solid tag team. And and to echo what you guys are saying, to go with this echo I'm hearing, FTR, I'm gonna say it, and this is my hot take, it's the best thing about AEW. Week in and week out, they're delivering on matches, their promos, them with Tully, everything makes sense and matches who they are. And it's not inconsistent. I don't feel like there's this ego thing with like the Bucks having to call themselves the greatest tag team of all time or whatever in this tag team division. I just feel like everything's working with FTR, and they need to get on them with this Bucks and a revival or FTR feud and get this out the way.
Yeah.
This is started because I don't even know what the Bucks are doing in their direction. I'm just throwing money at people.
Well, so the Young Bucks are looking frustrated in the back after the FTR win, and they super kick the cameraman. But out come the best friends, but not before they put up this image. I thought this was Doom in WWE image, and then I was like, oh no, they're just dressing hot dogs. That's just the Photoshop right there. I was really confused by the image, and then I went, I guess. I don't like calling people weenies. I feel like that's too immature.
Right.
Well, we'll get into this when we get to NXT, but I feel like calling someone a weenie has far more integrity than calling someone a bozo.
Oh yeah. Fat Jackson.
Stings a little bit more, right?
So they announced that next week they are going to be Tony Khan's booked the title match for the anniversary show with the Best Friends versus FTR for the titles, which sounds like it's going to probably be another good match.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be the best tag team run for any tag team ever. What FTR is doing right now.
If anything, next week's show is going to be incredible.
It better be. It really has to be, considering how good last night was. And next week's gonna be the 1 year anniversary, so that's a big deal. You know, so I mean, they really have to like make this really big. Because at first I was a little salty. Cause I'm like, why don't they say this match for the pay per view for Full Gear next month? But then I was like, nah, you want to stack the 1 year anniversary show, pretty heavy. You remember Raw's 1 year anniversary back in 1994? That was a really big show. If you don't remember it, was a really really big show, and they stacked it. We even got a tag team championship match where titles switch hands. So, not saying like that's gonna happen next week, obviously, but they do have to stack next week's show pretty big, and this is a match that they didn't build around.
Yeah, this is a full pay-per-view match.
So following that, we have what I felt was the main event of the show, the dog collar match between Cody versus Brody Lee, and this match, it was something else. Like, I'm not really comfortable with this style of match anymore. Like, it doesn't really get me that much. But this match, they told a story, and I feel like my favorite member of the Dark Order shone in this match. John Silver coming out to the ring looking like a ring bearer as he held the dog collars. Being knocked off the apron by Cody, and then Brody looking like he had to care for the man. Picks up a bloody John Silver, gets a chair off the blade, and then goes, "Sit down," before he gets kicked in the face again.
Like right for his time perfectly too. Like, just sit your ass down, let Daddy work.
Right, like
and you got
ooh.
And then the way they use the chain and everything, like, I feel like they've used it more better than I've seen in like recent strap matches, where they've used the chain and the dog collars more effectively. And I got to throw some love to Brody Lee when he threw that chair at Arn Anderson. He nearly hit him.
That was good.
That was nuts.
I was worried,
man.
I was worried when he did it. I went, "Gee, man."
That could have gone really wrong, really bad. Like, oh yeah.
That's pure trust right there.
Definitely. I'm with you, Manny. Like, just the way how the chain was used, as not only as a weapon, but also as a tool to be able to kind of carry that match along and such. Because there were even times where even like things that like you couldn't really control, like the chain got around Brody's neck at one point, and I was like, oh shit, like they're gonna choke him out there, but they didn't go for that spot, thank God. In that particular part though. But there were things that were in the match that were really unpredictable that you couldn't really control. But they did a really great job being able to bring that back, to where it was. And we saw some spots that I've never seen before, like just like the reminder, the spots were reminding you how closely connected these guys were. Like when they would do like the dives to the outside and such. Like you don't really typically see that a lot especially with dog collar matches. So seeing that really was a reminder of letting you know that these two are connected together and they are they are risking it all and such. So we saw some really interesting spots in that match. So that's what I really liked about it.
All right, now here's my take on this match. I thought it was okay. It was like a 50-50 match for me, in which there were some really good spots with the chain, but then there was some of it when I went, that didn't look too good. Like, there was a spot when Cody was on the outside, he was pulling him to choke him, but it just looked like Cody just walked up and sat down, and then was like, he's choking me, and I was like, that didn't look right. And to me, they were like, when Cody pulled him off the apron and did the RKO or the cutter, I was like, I just don't feel like I believe Cody can pull that man. It just didn't seem like I enjoyed the one spot when Brody yanked Cody out of midair. Like that
Yeah.
one worked for me, but when Cody did basically the same thing when he was on the apron and he did the RKO, that spot didn't work for me. Like it was 50-50 some of it. I was like, I'm enjoying this. Maybe they went to the blood really early. Like I wish it kind of built up to that, in which it was like, oh, they're bleeding off. No one really went for like the pinfalls or anything, or they
Mm-hmm.
didn't even. I feel like they didn't even also establish the rule. I know the rules that it's just a pinfall finish, but I feel like they never established every rule. Like it was an okay match, and I think more my displeasure of the match probably came more from the result of the match, because I thought Brody and the Dark Order was finally getting more momentum in the 5 weeks Cody was gone after he knocked Cody ass out in those 3 minutes. And then this week when Cody beat him, I was like, oh man, don't give yourself the belt again. You didn't
Mm.
have to. You didn't have to. Brody had the momentum. And this is when, AEW, passed himself on always giving their fans a finish to a match. They don't have DQ finish. I wouldn't mind having a screwy finish to this and then continue the feud, other than just taking the belt off Brody right away.
Well,
Mm.
this is the only thing I kind of enjoy with AEW is when you're working with when Cody's in, there's a long term story. Whereas like
Yeah.
when you're in the main event picture with John Moxley, it's like month to month, where
It's a
it's a new
monster
challenger
of the
that
week.
comes along. Yeah, it's like a new monster of the month, and it bothers me more because you can't really long term book that.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and that's the thing too. And this is a response to both you guys, actually. Because you're right. Because after the dog collar match, I did post in the group, how great that match was, and I can't remember who it was who commented. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But they asked, they're like, what's the point of taking the belt off him already, off of Brody Lee already and such. And so I was like, at least now we're seeing Brody had a month and a half, being able to be like the TNT champion. So he had he had a pretty good run. However, what I think it was setting things up for though is for him to be now in that world title match, because like you said, Manny, a second ago, Moxley is he's having these fast food these fast food feuds basically, which are just really quick and out the way and on to the next one and such. And to be real with you, like I like Moxley and everything like that, but I'm not really buying him as this dominant champion. And I can see that could be what's in store for Brody Lee, very very soon. For him to be able to have a feud with Moxley, take the title off him, and Dark Order would have something to be able to build up significantly with that, and Brody Lee could run with that for a while.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100% about the Moxley thing and not coming up. Like, I don't get the real champion vibe. To me, the AEW champion right now is Cody Rhodes. It's the TNT title. They had this match which felt like the main event and of any pay-per-view or whatnot. It was unique. It had a nice aesthetic to it. They dug up Greg Valentine for it, who was a little sleepy, but he was there, all right? He was there, damn it. And the whole fact that Cody cut that promo at the end, it seemed like it was an end kind of show. Like it was a really good promo about how he's doing it for the fans. He's not changing his persona, and I was like, that's the champion. And I understood like him winning the title, and I'm not liking it, but I understood that that's what Cody does. He brings emotion and passion to everything he does, and it was brilliant. And I don't get that from Mox, who had a vignette right next in the bar. And it was fine vignette, but I was like, that's what Cody's the champion.
He seemed defeated in that. Like the way he was talking already sounded like he already lost that title.
He's reminiscing of when he was champion. Like, you guys remember when I was champion? It was a fight every week. Went to the Murder Hawk, and he kicked my ass. He did it in Japan. He did it here too.
So a few announcements they made was that it basically will be Cody versus Orange Cassidy next week, and they've added three other competitors to the AEW Championship Tournament, which is Wardlow, Colt Cabana, Hangman Adam Page, to join Jungle Boy, Ray Phoenix, and Kenny Omega. And I thought it was a really weak promo from Kenny afterwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny was to me, he was the low point of the show. A really good show. Kenny was the low point with his promo, because I just don't buy Kenny's promos right now.
Yeah. Yeah, stark difference from what they used to be in Japan. It seems like that they're just not, like you said, like Marcus, they're not really that believable. You're not really getting that fire from him that you would expect to get from him and such. And so it's like you kind of you keep wondering, are you holding back? Are you reserving yourself for for a bigger match? But yeah, not seeing it.
So following the Kenny promo was another really good match. Like everything.
Oh, can I pause you for a second? I didn't understand the selection of the people in the tournament either. Like, why Wardlow and not MJF? Like, or why Colt Cabana and not I don't know, I can't think of anybody, but or Brody Lee or someone one of the top, or Brian Cage or Ricky Starks or something, or Darby Allin. Like, they didn't explain to me why, and it's not even because their rankings, which I believe is a joke anyway. Like, you should just have it. Give me a reason why these people were selected. I know WWE never does this, and I hate when they do it too. When they be like, Baron Corbin and Matt Riddle for a number one contender match. But why? Like, I would at least like a reason why these people were selected. Anyway, sorry for the
So
interruption.
moving on was another good match, possibly
Good point, though.
one of the better women's matches of the week. Big Swole versus Serena Deeb. I didn't like the flurry ending. I thought like Big Swole should have hit her with a finisher, not just like a headbutt and a chop, and then got her for a pin. But other than that, like, the match
It seemed like it was the basic. Yeah, she went with a chop and a headbutt, and the match ended. like it was the start of the match.
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise. It was kind of a surprise on both ends. I didn't like that Serena Deeb didn't get an entrance. I never liked that, but especially for her, because she's an established talent who has like a pretty long legacy behind her. It's like, nah, like give her some respect. Everything in between though was really good. It was really solid and really great. And Serena did a great job of selling significantly for Big Swole, to remind us, just how solid she is. Because unfortunately, I don't feel Big Swole really had the opportunity at the All Out pay-per-view when she was wrestling the dentist,
Britt Baker.
Yeah,
Doctor
DDS. Yeah, right. So she didn't really get that opportunity, because I feel like that match was a true letdown, unfortunately. And this was a reminder of what she has. So you're right. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Manny. Like, it would have been better to end that match, with with a solidified finishing move, instead of just kind of like out of nowhere combo set. But I mean, what we got in the middle though was really solid.
Yeah.
With Big Swole picking up quite a few wins recently, is it time she steps to Shida, or is it too early?
Yeah, I think it's time. Although I still feel like her and Britt Baker still needs to have a regular match. Like, they had the dentist match and whatnot, and whatever happened in that, but they still need to have their regular match against one-on-one to kind of close out the feud. I feel like it was still open. Like, yeah, it was a dentist match or whatever. I forget what it was called, tooth and nail or whatever. But I feel like they're still in the middle of their feud, but it was fine. I would finish that off with her and Britt Baker, and then give her a push for the title, or vice versa.
Absolutely, 100%.
So the final match, the main event, was Chaos Project, Luther and Serpentico versus Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. I've written a note, surprisingly a good little match here. Luther, who I put zero faith in, had a good showing.
I didn't like the Luther showing. I thought it was like, this dude old, and like, it's just, there was like when he was shaking up on the ropes on every single move. I was like, you shouldn't be up there, man. Just don't do this. Like, you're not.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, when we talk about this on Saturday with Eric, he will love it because he hates Ricky Morton so much more.
That's an excuse. But I feel Luther was shaky in the match. He like tripped a few times. Maybe he was nervous because a main event match on Dynamite, and he is older. But it was just like, man, this shouldn't be the main event. Like, Serpentico should not be in the main event. Like, I just feel like this shit. Like I thought the 30th anniversary would have been more. I know they had a bunch of vignettes and they spent their entire cameo budget for this show. It just seemed like they a 30th anniversary would have been better if Jericho would have been in WWE, in which you could have some of the highlights of his career because you didn't really have much here other than random cameo celebrities talking like,
Kevin
hey, it's
Smith.
Chris Jericho, Kevin Smith, and everything.
Yeah.
It just didn't really have much to it. And I just wanted to buy like the Cody and the dog collar match and the tag match and even the Brian Cage Will Hobbs FTW title match, which shouldn't be a belt by the way, it should just exist
Well, they
if you're gonna
acknowledge
have
that.
it exist.
They acknowledge it. It's not acknowledged anywhere.
It's acknowledged in AEW when they advertise for the FTW title. It should never be on the line on
Officially
your show.
unofficial. Officially
Yeah, it should
unofficial.
be like Cage or somebody should go, I'll put it on the line, but this is not a zero belt. I'll beat your ass. I'm always gonna be Jim.
Sort of like how the $1 million belt was back in the day.
Yeah. That's how I saw the belt as. I don't want it to be an official like mid card title or lower mid card title.
Yeah.
But enough of that. The main event, it ended, and I feel like the show just ended flat with the MJF coming out and the picture and them just hugging it out, and then everybody walks out with a little bit of the bubbly and champagne. And I was like, Jericho's a heel and attacked all these people with bats the previous week. And I was just bored. I was like, this is inconsistent. Even though I did like the credits.
I was about to say, please mention those credits because I was cracking up. I was cracking up on those credits, man. Because at first when it popped up, I'm like, credits? But then I started, when you read them, you're like, this love.
Yeah, this dude. I'm cameraman 4.
I love you putting no love to the inner circle throughout all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with like the main event. Was it did its job in terms of like showing, giving Jericho the light, giving him like the win, giving him like his moment and such. I was a little bit confused on like why it was them that they were wrestling. I just didn't really understand that too much. But I mean I still went with it or whatever. But Jericho, that's the thing is that like. My wife was watching it with me, and she was like, "God, like he looks so out of shape, and he looks just like he looks rough." And I'm just like, he's a rock star, but he can still he can still move. He can still hit the moonsault, really well. He can still move around the ring and such. He can get gassed up, he still does his thing and such. So I mean, so he got what he wanted last night, and it did its job. Yeah, the whole ceremony, ceremony with MJF was like, okay, let's see where this goes because I was very intrigued, like what was gonna happen with that, but yeah, kind of ended up flat. We saw a stiff elbow that Jericho gave that clown looking guy, whatever, who was under the sheet.
Yeah.
So we saw a stiff elbow, which kind of like that.
Clown.
What was that?
Clownicola clown.
Yeah.
Clown.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be Yerple. I thought it was gonna be Yerple coming out of retirement.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it did its job, but yeah, it did that ending wrestling wise. It could have been a little bit more. They could have put more seasoning on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was AEW. Let's move on to NXT. NXT starts off hot. So they announced that Tommaso Ciampa and Kushida were fighting backstage. So Regal basically just
Every feud NXT
and booked them in the opening of the match.
Every feud NXT begins with these two ran into each other in the parking lot, had words with it, and it was like, let's fight. They would not have a show. They would not have a wrestling show if it wasn't for shit going on in their parking lot. Like people get kidnapped. Oh, you in my parking space. Oh, let's fight. This shit going on in that parking lot, and I don't understand why NXT just can't build different feuds. Just tell me we're having Tommaso Ciampa versus Kushida. Don't give me this parking lot shit. I don't care.
I don't need a match for the sake of a match. I need to know why they were fighting. I wasn't told why they were fighting in the back. Did Kushida look at him wrong, or did Tommaso Ciampa look at him wrong? No, I didn't get any of that. I didn't get no explanation why these two were fighting. Why
Dude, did you fight? Yeah, I fought. Let's fight this parking lot there. Like what?
And then I was witness to a really good match, and then the Dream had to interfere because you can't give these two losses because they're top guys essentially in their view. And you see Dream sporting the purple cast to imply a broken forearm or wrist. And I love the desperation of him trying to escape.
Right. Right. Yeah, that was they just came off the heels of a great match on Sunday, with Kushida and Dream. And so I was kind of wondering where's where's Dream at? In terms of the mix with Kushida during the match with him and Ciampa. But yeah, so it's good to see that feud is still going on between Dream and Kushida, because I thought what they did on Sunday was excellent. And I want to see it keep on going.
It's just a testament to how good Dream was, because we mentioned it on Tuesday, but like the selling on Dream, incredible.
He just looks like he's running for his life when he's fighting Kushida. And like he makes Kushida look like just some maniac that's attacking him, because when he came out with the cast, and I would like the Dream to continue to wear the cast for a long time just because, and just hit people with it. The old loaded cast gimmick. But it's like he's not really hurt. He's just using the weapon. But him running through the audience is like, ah, shit, I'm gonna get fucked up. And even Ciampa's response to that's really not how I wanted this match to end. I was beating the shit out of Kushida, which was a really good match. I think they went for about 17, 18 minutes of just doing really solid work in the ring, because they had a beef in the parking lot. Because somebody parked a little too close to me. I was a little upset. Or Tommaso, who's a psycho killer, decided to park in a handicap spot, and Kushida took umbrage to that.
So all through this match, it was.
I'm in the parking lot right now. I'm worried I might get into a match with somebody in NXT. Shit, that's the way it's working.
So during this match, Ember Moon was being told that Ember Moon was going to speak after this match, and that's what she did. And she said she was a little shocked.
That was a lie. Ember Moon can't speak. Ember Moon can't speak.
Sure can.
She's invented Ember's law. Nobody's going to walk over her anymore. Nobody's going to tell her what to do, and she's going to do what she wants, because she's Ember Moon.
Yeah, they're trying to. I'm sorry, Manny. Go ahead.
I hope on that list of things she wants to do is go to promo class, because that is not good.
No. Again, I feel like they're trying to help Ember Moon. They put her in situations, but she's just not excelling at it. This mic time should have been her time. It should have been an emotional speech about her comeback. Because I remember her on backstage crying that she may never wrestle again.
Yeah.
It was a very emotional thing, and then she come out with this, and I was just like, Ember, you can really work on this. You can put some emotion in this. And again, I feel like she was upstaged again on the show by the same woman, Toni Storm, who had a vignette, which made her look like a star, and Ember Moon had her chance to look like a star, but it just didn't work out. It's just not working. I like Ember, but she needs to work on, or get a mouthpiece or something.
I totally agree with you on that. I was thinking about that as well too after Sunday, when she came out. I was thinking it's gonna be great to see her on Wednesday and see what she had to say and everything. It would have been much better. You're right. It would have been much better had she had a one-on-one match, with another woman, and she got the win, and then her post match victory and her post match promo, she could kind of take that emotion that she had where you're talking about it from backstage before, and she could take that and apply that to her post match promo in terms of being happy to be here. It was a good chance that she may not have been back in the ring, but now she is and everything. And, to reset her focus, in terms of going after the championship. I didn't really think it needed how it went in terms of taking her moment and turning it into a main event tag match. Yeah, it was a main event and such, but that should have been a siloed moment for her, though. You know what I mean? In terms of reintroducing her to the audience. This has been going away for over a year, so it would have been better that way.
I think they're taking precautions with the return, because naturally you're going to be a bit jumpy when you come back from such a major injury. I feel like there's going to be times where she's going to drop on that Achilles heel and be like, oh, that didn't feel right, mentally. So I think putting her in a tag match kind of sorts that kind of thing out, just gets the ring rust off without putting her on the spotlight immediately on her in a singles match.
Takes away the pressure. That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't think it's the pressure, because I feel like she's good at what she does.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like she needs to reestablish, because when she's put against Tony Storm, who is accomplished around the world, I think it took away the shine of what they were trying to get with Ember Moon, and it's going to take a while to build up because like she had a bad run on the main roster, so you almost have to rebuild her back up. So I really hope that they don't just throw her into the title picture, because I feel like that would have more of a negative impact on her, because whether she wins or loses, it'd be like, oh, she's new, they're just going to throw the title on her, and then almost have that kind of expectation. Whereas, like, I'd rather see her be built up to where she was on NXT before she went to the main roster, and then get her shot at the title.
Well, I would like from this feud, and I don't think it's going in this direction, but to me, it feels like if she fights, Io at, I'm assuming Halloween Havoc, and she comes up short, and, she sees Tony Storm goes against Io, and maybe win, that she's always just, and Tony Storm keep upstaging her, and it leads into a heel turn. Like, because Tony Storm and her keep showing up on the same show, it's almost in back-to-back segments, and it's always like, Tony Storm's doing this, and I would like Ember to show a little edge, and like just lose it and just attack, like maybe Tony Storm. That's what I would want. But I don't think that's happening.
That would be some smart long-term booking, though. I like that.
Yeah, and so this ends up in a brawl as Rhea Ripley comes out. Io Shirai comes out, and then before she can even speak, Rhea Ripley comes out. And then Big Michael and Tokai start a brawl with Ripley. Ember Moon goes to help, and then Io Shirai doesn't. And then when they go backstage to ask Io why she didn't, she thought that's no problem. And then points at her title. This is what I care about. Which is the correct answer.
Yeah, I don't know what they doing. Look at this shit, though. Check out this goal.
That's all I care about.
And then we lead into Marcus's favorite tag team, Everrise. Maurice, that's just a joke. Because Marcus did say at one point he'd rather watch Game On than watch Everrise entrance.
Oh, man.
True story, man. That entrance is that bad. And even worse, too. It's Fat Jackson and No Neck Jackson. That's who they are. Double Chin Jackson and Fat. They're just terrible. I hate these guys.
I wish you.
So I really enjoy when Drake set up this music to come to the ring, when he's strutting, skipping to the ring, dancing to the music. I loved it.
That was fun.
But like Everrise is trash. You've got the Fat Jackson screaming the whole way through it, and then he yells at Killian Dane. He's like, "You're nothing but a fat," and I quote, "fat bozo."
Yeah, and I go, "Oh, what year was that written in?"
Right.
Like, people give Vince McMahon shit about bad writing, like Fat Bozo. Or if that was on Raw, they'd be like, Vince wrote some horrible shit. But no, this is on NXT. Triple H helped write that shit, or whoever involved wrote Fat Bozo. Or this dude actually says this.
Right, I think it was on the cuff, bro.
That dude said it.
I think that was on him. Seriously. Because nobody's writing that. You know what I mean? Nobody's putting it on paper.
And then
Fat Bozo. That's a good one.
And the other thing I enjoyed was Drake being the English Shinsuke Nakamura, because that's what he looked like. His ring attire and everything.
The red pants.
So we go back. So we go to the Garganos, where it turns out that Indy Hartwell had gifted them a new TV and a USB. But
now this is long-term booking. This is that long-term booking, guys.
There was no news. But a clip of Battle Royal with a spotlight on Indy Hartwell saving Candice LeRae numerous times during the match. So it
was the same spot. It was the same spot over and over. It wasn't numerous. It just saved her once.
So do you think they've been planning this since that Battle Royal, or that was just kind of like a happy accident that's kind of fell into place perfectly?
I think it was a happy accident. I think they saw it, like maybe when the rewatch, it was like, what would she save her there? What would she save? Why did she save it? She could just let her lose. Like, it doesn't matter. And then they were like, maybe there's a reason. She gives him a new TV. She's a little obsessed with her. And I'm happy for Indy Hartwell if she gets this.
I'm with you because like that's the thing is that like when they showed that, I was like, oh shoot, like so in my mind I'm thinking like, wow, they really are planning this out. Like like very meticulously and everything, to be able to do to pull that off in the battle royal, and then what we got last night with the TV gift and them watching the TV and showing what happened in the battle royal and such. So I'm like, okay, they're investing into this. So it made me wonder how that played out. But either way, though, I like how they're doing that, because now they're like teasing that she might be a little obsessed, of her and such. So
Yeah.
I kind of like seeing where that's gonna go.
And then this was followed by Austin Theory versus the Sharpshooter's unofficial. I think he's official, but wrestler of the. I wouldn't even say. I would say of the COVID era, and that is our boy Leon Ruff.
Woo! Leader of the Rough Bunch.
I'm just gonna have to say it. Leon Ruff looked like Swerve Scott before he was injected with Super Soldier Serum. Cause he looks skinny as hell, and I ain't seen him in a long time, and he looks skinny.
He looked like if Kofi Kingston had a mini me, and that's not it. Kofi is small, but I enjoyed the showing for Leon Ruff.
Marcus, it's the Pokemon evolution scale. It's Leon Ruff, Swerve Scott, and then Kofi Kingston. So jobber, kind of mid card, and then main event.
The evolution of Kofi. The evolution of Kofi. You just see these three guys.
Kofi's career, right?
Yeah. ECW Kofi is what we got tonight.
But like Leon Ruff put on the show. Like, how incredible did he look in that match?
He did.
It was a squash match, but he got his shit in.
Yeah,
Yep.
from the jump, he did that standing Hurricanrana on it. I was like, oh shit, okay, on Austin Theory. So I mean, yeah, you're right. He got his shit in like really, really quick and really easy too.
Yeah, when he did that oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no.
Oh, he did the start when Austin Theory went for the clothesline. I'm thinking it's going to connect, and then Leon Ruff does that basically a stand and shoot star press to avoid it and dodge, and it was perfectly timed. And I went, oh, he may win. This is crazy.
No,
but
I popped for the springboard getaways around the corner.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it was wild, and I was really happy for him. And I was like, this is Leon Ruff, but Theory won in the end.
So Austin Theory gets the win. He gets on the mic and says he is the future, and then we get a match of Austin Theory versus Dexter Lumis. Another good match. Lumis gets a win with the Anaconda Vice, but then is immediately taken out by Cameron Grimes.
Oh man, to the moon.
Caven. And then he says, "When I ask you a question, you answer me, freak."
Yep. Another view that just started in the back for no reason, other than someone just looking at me. Why are you looking at me? Well, we have a blood feud now.
They're at catering. He's laughing at potato salad.
Who made this potato salad? Blood feud. We need to fight the cage.
Good in the ring.
But I mean,
in the fight pit.
yeah, like wait, what are we doing? And here's my thing with this match. I really enjoyed this. To me, this is a time when Austin Theory really shined. I feel like because he did both of these matches, and it was a length, and it went to his all-day gimmick. I would like him to justify his all-day gimmick and one day do an entire episode of NXT and just having matches all day, talk about he can fight everybody, and it starts from Leon Ruff all the way to like Adam Cole, and then he eventually loses. And it's like maybe even punishment from Regal. You say you can do this all day for 2 hours straight. Austin Theory will be in that ring. Win or lose, he has to go to the next match and do this all day.
Win or lose.
It will be fun. Win or lose.
So a one-sided gauntlet, basically.
Yeah, he has to go through the entire roster. Since he's talking all this shit, he has to go through the entire gauntlet. And I feel like it could make him even more if in between those matches he has a little mic time and he's talking all his shit. Yeah. And then he gets knocked out by I know Ridge Holland got hurt, but Ridge Holland comes in and just knocks the shit out of him. And then he gets up and it's like, I wasn't ready for that one. Give me the next one. Give me another one. I can do it all day. But that's what I kind of wanted from tonight.
So again, we cut to the back where all things start. Ridge Holland is interviewed and asked why he did that thing to Adam Cole on Takeover. And then he just preferences, I didn't have a message this last week. This week I do. You can thank Adam Cole for that. So it led me to various points in questioning of, did he steal the car? Did Adam Cole drive him? Did he steal Adam Cole's car?
Maybe it made him a name. Maybe somebody paid him off. I would like to think it's Finn Balor. And as I alluded to on the other show, I know Marty is probably locked up somewhere, but Marty Scurll is paying off Ridge Holland of some kind. I want another guy. But we're not getting that storyline. Why? Because Manny Boy Only Lorcan had to jump on somebody.
I really was annoyed by this. Like, I will go on record to say I would totally accept Ridge Holland to be the first English WWE champion, because they're building him to be a Brock Lesnar, and I can get behind it. I've seen him live against Walter, and it was an incredible match. And it's just unfortunate that he's got an injury, which it looks like he broke either his leg, or really twisted his knee, or broke his ankle. Because the way he caught Lorcan from the dive, like, when they showed it in the replay, you could actually see the leg bend the knee bend in a way that shouldn't. So it either looked like he broke his ankle or he twisted his knee, and either didn't look good.
Okay, I was wondering what actually happened, because the ref did the X symbol, and it looked like he caught him right. Like he caught him the right way, with ease and everything like that. But then the X, I'm like, okay, what really happened? So I didn't know if that was like
they caught him really low, and then when you're in that kind of squat, it's like when you see weightlifters clean jerk.
Yeah,
it's like the leg goes.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was just, I was just wondering what exactly it was, but I'm glad you clarified that up. But it's a damn shame, because I don't know that much about him, so I was looking forward to seeing more about him and everything, in terms of what he does in the ring and such. So, but he's gonna be out for a while. It sucks, man.
Yeah, he looked like a monster in this segment, and it was really cool. And I was like, the fact that they said, "Oh my God, he dove on him," and then he got up first and ran after, and I was like, "Damn, that's a bad dude right there."
And then, so I think NXT is just having a bad run of injuries, where they've lost Tiga, they've lost Karrion Kross, they're losing Finn for a couple of weeks, and they've announced that he fractured his jaw in 2 places. So
there's a curse. There's a curse.
Yeah,
and I'm going to call this right now. If you are a guy who Vince McMahon would want to call up right away, they seem to get injured all the time. Like Ridge and Kross. They didn't seem like they would be people that would stay in NXT very long, but they were there. And Vince McMahon be all over it. He's like, look at the size of this dude. I want this guy. But if they're in NXT, it seems like they get hurt right away. Like, no matter who they are. Even Drew McIntyre, when he was champion, got hurt right away. He was like, oh, he was going to the main roster eventually. It just seems like there's some type of curse of which the next big star, who they probably going to be like, Vince is going to love this guy, and it would make him watch NXT and call this guy up. And it just seems like that would happen. So look out, Damian Priest, because that may happen to him.
Don't say
I
that.
know. I'm just saying. All the guys that look like main roster ready always get hurt. It seems like.
Sure.
So the next match was Shotzi picking up a win over Xia. Not really an important match. I just found it weird. Has Xia always been saying she's spicy, too spicy, continuously on the way to the ring? In a while.
I think she said it like once or twice before, but she said it blatantly in the camera this week, and I was like, she got spicy.
She's trying to make that catch. She's trying to make that work.
Yeah. And then the only thing important to this match was at the end when Boa came out and looked like he was starting the WWE triads.
He was like, well, the Hurt Business can do this for the blacks. I can do this for the Chinese. Here we go. And he gave her that letter, and she was like, what? Is this a chick? This is my losing money? I didn't go to the pay window, and you covering my charge tonight? You knew my rent was due? Dang, you a real one, Bo. I don't know where you got the money from or that suit. But I have no clue where they're going, if they're forming some deadly Chinese alliance. But there's not no Chinese guy. This is it. This is kind of the limit for them.
This is the thing that comes between the two shows this week, yesterday, was AEW I got stellar matches, but NXT I got more addition to story. With the exception of the one that came to an end, because I don't think we're going to get a resolution of Ridge Holland, I got more story elements to it, I'm a story guy. All about the story.
Yeah. I mean, they play the season in NXT, and most of the time it is consistently matches and stuff. But they were trying to plant little seeds of stuff here with like Indy Hartwell and Ridge Holland and the Boa and Xia Li and whatnot. So they really built stuff up, but most of it's still parking lot feuds.
So the main event was Rhea Ripley and Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai and Big Mama Cool. Raquel Gonzalez, nearly forgot her name.
You just have to call her mama. You have to call her mama.
Really good match to end NXT. I feel like Ember needs a new finisher. Given her injury history, coming down to the ring like that with such velocity is not a good idea for her longevity. She can do it on like takeovers and stuff, but like get another finisher that isn't gonna kill you.
Yeah, she needs a submission finisher. Something that she can like maybe like some kind of like camel clutch like move or something like that. But she needs something that's on the ground and like a submission move because I kind of cringed a little bit as well too when she was going for it. Like, oh, she didn't go for it, and I mean, thank God, it worked out fine for her and everything. But yeah, but in the interest of making sure her career is long and safe, yeah, keep that on the ground.
Yeah. But, here's the problem with that. And, I'm an Ember Moon supporter, and I support, her getting the submission. But I believe Manny and Eric both called her on this show. She's a one-trick pony who has that nice move, that great finish. But she really doesn't bring anything else.
Well,
and if she didn't do it, what is she at this point?
To be honest, that is all she is to me. Like, I'm not a massive Ember fan. Like, if you're comparing Toni Storm to Ember Moon, I'm more of a Toni Storm fan. What time is it? It's Tony time. But like to me, yeah, Ember Moon is just red contact lenses at times. That total eclipse, and the how she does. But other than that, I don't get anything else from her.
Which is why this is the opportune time for her to be able to expand that move set, change things around. It's sort of like if I could do a basketball analogy, like when Vince Carter had to change up his entire way of play because after his big injury that he suffered some years ago, and what all that did was extend his career even further along, where he's damn near still playing right now. It seems like I know he's retired, but Ember, yeah, she's in a position right now, like you said, to be able to let's add to that moveset this way. I'm not just a one trick pony. I'm not just an entrance, one move and a howl. Let me incorporate some more grounded moves that will be able to still carry my character and give me some depth, in terms of what I'm doing in the ring and such. So yeah, hopefully she takes advantage of that right now because you're right. When you said earlier when she was on Raw that sadly that fell flat. So NXT is a good area for her to be in, but also at the same time she can be able to expand her moveset.
Okay, now here's my question. It's just for Maurice. This is a Maurice-centric question.
All right.
So you need to be able to answer this. Jordan Grace on Impact this week won the X Division title. Do you see that as being a real thing? And I know it's the love of your life. How do you feel about everything that happened on Impact?
Oh, bro, with that. Okay, here's the thing. Unfortunately, I wasn't watching it when it happened. I was doing some other stuff, and it was Zay from the mid-card mess. He hit me up and told me about what happened and such. I was like, wait, what? Had to hit it on the DVR to check it out and everything. So I'm torn by that because on one half of me is like, of course, that's my heart. So seeing that happen, was very hurtful. But that was some cool shit though to see. That was some cool TV shit to see and everything. And and shout out to the champ for being able to even get over more and get more heat on him. But I did like the way how that looked. And I'm not dismissing that as that could be a possibility in the near future. So we could see, and Impact has no qualms of putting a traditionally male-worn title on a woman. We see it with Tessa. So why not with the X Division on Jordan Grace? I mean, she can work her ass off. She's a great performer. She's a great talker as well too. She's a good champion. So I mean, that's not too far from reality in my opinion.
Yeah. to me, it's the title that makes the most sense for a woman to win, since the X Division title has always been. It's not about weight classes or limits
No
or whatever.
limits.
It's about
Mhm.
it's about whoever can win it, and I feel like that will work. And now, as Jordan Grace, becomes X Division title, and NXT claims to have the best women's division in the world, do you feel Jordan Grace is the best wrestler in the world?
The best the best
Female wrestler in
female
general.
wrestler, absolutely, 100%. I think it's her, and I think it's Shayna Baszler. Who are my top, but and then I would say Asuka as well too.
I
But
thought you were about to say Lana, and I don't know why. I was like, Lana, yeah, Lana going to that table, got her over. Nah,
it worked, but Jordan Grace absolutely is, and like you said, the X Division title really does make sense for her because it's a no limit title, and she'll be able to have good matches. We've seen her have really good matches with men, so she can go to either division and it really dominate. But to me personally, I think she's the best female wrestler on the planet.
all right, Manny, I got no more questions. No more questions, Your Honor.
Okay, it's just because we're on the Jordan Grace subject. What's her next move? AEW or the WWE?
I think it's gonna be WWE. I think that she's really. I just see her doing really well, doing much better, going further. Career wise, with WWE, she's not only is she beautiful, she can work, but she's extremely marketable. She has an insane fan base as well, and that just seems like a much better fit for her when it comes to her style. I don't think AEW has enough talent to be able to match her up with, in terms of being able to have progressive matches. There already are about 5 dream matches already with Jordan Grace and the women's division in WWE. So it would make much more sense for her going to go to WWE, go to NXT, and then go to SmackDown, and then and beat ass on SmackDown.
Yep, and I would understand as a good recruiting technique from WWE is like the option is you can go to AEW, but you won't be the main event of any show. You don't have anybody, you don't have the caliber of talent to wrestle, and it may, you'd be throwing away, and they have the most money. Like recruiting wise, there's no way if I'm Jordan Grace, I go, this AEW looking kind of good right now because they don't really have the roster, they don't really have the money. I mean, I'm sure they have money to throw at her, but they don't have
I
the
don't think they
main
invested
event
in
money.
that much.
Yeah, they
I
don't have
don't
main
think
event
they
money.
invest
Like
time.
Jordan could be the Charlotte or Asuka.
Right. And that's the problem is that there's just not enough talent to be able to match. There's more talent in Impact for the women's division than there is in AEW. So that just wouldn't that really wouldn't be conducive for her. When it comes to who should be able to match up with. And plus, from a business standpoint, it just makes sense bringing Jordan Grace to WWE because WWE has seen her following and how large and how dedicated her following is. And boom, that's just more people, more eyes coming to their product and such. So it just makes a lot. And plus, they'll treat her really well there. They'll get her great features and some good main events, main event pay-per-views as well too. I can see all that happening with her. So.
And before we close out, while we've got you here, is there anything else you wanna plug before you go?
Oh yeah, thank you for that.
And don't say Jordan Grace. And don't you say Jordan Grace. All right, this is a kid-friendly show. Okay, do not say that.
I'm about to say you want me to plug some. You know what I mean? I'm messing. No, but aside from that though, once again, come check out B-Side Studios. Like I said, look us up on Facebook and IG as well. We have a lot of things going on. We're actually we're doing we're doing some. It kind of reflects what we're talking about. We're doing a tag team acting tournament, right? That's going to be happening starting next week. It's a tournament of 8 teams, of 8 tag teams, and what they're doing, they're taking a scene from a movie, from a drama, let's say, and they're flipping it to a comedy. So we're going to be posting on Facebook. We're going to get votes and everything and see who advances. and then like the winner of the whole tournament, like will be able to like get money to go to the charity and all that stuff and everything. It's gonna be good. So it's called Film Flip. So check that out. Check out Film Flip. It's coming up soon. And next month, B-Side Studios is also running out its first ever social media reality show called Wine, Dine, Go Live. So we'll be doing a pilot for that next month, and then depending on how things go, we'll be rolling it out consistently starting in February. So yeah, check that out. Check out Film Flip and check out Wine, Dine, Go Live. All brought to you by B-Side Studios, baby.
There it is. There it is. Congratulations on all your success, sir, and all the projects coming out. Plan on checking out most of it, especially the tag team acting thing, because I want to see somebody flip Baby Boy to a comedy, because to me, that movie is a goddamn comedy.
Facts, man, facts. You'll see it. It's a whole bunch. They're flipping like scenes from Kill Bill, from Friday, from Goodfellas. So I mean, it's a lot of stuff that they're doing. You guys will really get a kick out of it, though. So be on the lookout for that.
Is it planned or is it all like improv?
Oh no, it's planned. They already filmed their scenes and everything already. So everything's already in the can. We're just doing the tournament. So this way, like we're gonna be posting all the matchups next week, and then people will be able to vote. Which one they felt was what was the best one of the matchups and everything. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. It's gonna be really good.
Before you send me all the socials, and then I'll throw it in the description down below.
For sure. Yeah, most definitely. I got you.
And ban Chad.
So yeah, you don't like Chad.
Ban Chad. He's probably already setting up his post. I'm sure he makes his whole day with a cigarette and a martini, and he's ready to glow. He's waiting for the ratings to come out, and he's going to just hit sin on AEW is just better. But again, I'm going to say NXT will beat AEW this week. I don't know how.
I don't know
how. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. 868 to 848 NXT this week.
I'm telling you now, AEW hits 900 this week, if not higher.
I ain't no dog collar putting me there.
They better, man.
It's doing 900 or higher today.
Just because he had Dennis Miller talking how great he is, don't mean we're going to get they're going to get 1 million views. Dennis Miller ain't bringing people in. Slash ain't bringing people in.
Wait and see. You know what? That's the only time Homeboy even says anything. That's the only time we ever hear from him. He never talks.
And that's why I'm annoyed. That's the main thing I'm annoyed about.
No, so there was one day, and I was furious this day. So I was already in a bad mood, and then Raphael tagged me in something, and it wasn't Thursday. It must have been like Friday or Saturday. And then I replied because it was him, and then I was like, "Holy shit! Did you shit the bed because you're on a Saturday?" Which is, I don't think this term is used readily in America. We use it in England.
Yeah.
Of did you shit the bed? Why are you here? Kind of thing. and then I get this instant hatred response, and I was like, I'm sure I'll call with the admins. I could get him removed today if I really wanted to try.
Like I can ruin your life right now, bro.
I'm gonna come into it. You won't have this AEW better thing. Right. You're done. You're done, Chad. You're done with it.
And then he come out and said, he said something in retaliation to me, like calling me a hypocrite. And I was like, hang on, little boy.
First of all, what you're not going to do.
I didn't even know you were here till I was tagged in your post.
Right.
You only exist one day of the week to me.
I feel like I need a timer like they had on Raw for time to apologize because he wronged me. I didn't do anything.
All right. Speaking of Raw and SmackDown, tune in Saturday for the Sharpshooters podcast, which will be live this Saturday, where Eric the Hater will spew all hate over AEW, probably even more hate on NXT, and hate on Monday Night Raw. But there will be a draft where I'm sure he will hate every single pick in those drafts. I'm sure. Except for when Baron Corbin goes number one.
He will probably continue to say he's the tribal chief of the show, and he will remind him that he is the tribal beef.
Keep beef, Lee! Fast in his glory, everybody. Fast in his glory.
If you would like to help support the show, check out www.storefrontier.com/DSPN and pick up some official DSPN merch.
Not knockoff
Which
merch.
none of us are wearing there.
What are you talking about? This is an Untitled Manny and Marcus show prototype sweater. It just ain't got the logo printed on there, Manny. I mean, this is just a
So other
sweater.
side.
Yeah, yeah. Look, if I stand up, if I adjust it up, if I put this arm up, oh look, over the logo.
So
This is official. Yeah, you see that? This is an official sweater.
And on that note, I've been Lord Manny Hayes. He's been
Marcus the Grand Finale.
And we've been joined by
Maurice Prophet, baby.
And it's the Untitled Man.
All right.
He just